Okay, Kirby Chambliss in the Edge 540 and Mike Wiskus in the Little Stinker. The Pitts biplane have departed the airport and they're en route. And I suspect if I know the two of them, they might come from overhead behind us and try to surprise us a little bit. But I'll let you know if that's going to happen. But they are airborne, and the Air Boss has cleared them into what we call the box, and that is the aerobatic box, the prescribed area where they are allowed to perform their aerobatic routines. Our Air Boss, Wayne Boggs, talking to them now, clearing them into the active area. Coming up next, like I said, it'll be Kirby Chambliss and Mike Wiskus. Then that'll be followed by something pretty loud and pretty fast. And I'm talking about the F-16 Viper, followed by the United States Air Force Heritage Flight. That's the old and the new, the past and the present. So the F-16 will be joined by a P-51D Mustang from the World War II era. To give you an example of the heritage of the United States Air Force, fly a beautiful formation scheme for you. I know that you will enjoy it, and backed by some tremendous music. The United States Air Force Heritage Flight, that follows immediately after the F-16. I hear airplane noises. All right, almost straight up. Right behind the crowd in the lead, the red biplane. That's my Wiskus in the Edge 540. Right behind him is none other than five-time National World Aerobatic Champion Kirby Chambliss, and they'll be entering the box momentarily. So get ready for some fast action. A lot of G-forces out there. And if you don't know what those are, I'll explain them to you as we get throughout the day. Smoke is on. Mike Wiskus in the Little Stinker, diving into the box to the left. On his tail, following that smoke trail, is Kirby Chambliss. Little tease of what they're going to do later on. Both of these performers have separate acts. And this is just a little example of what you're going to see later on when they do their 12 or 13-minute actual routine. Listen to the sound of those engines. 300 horsepower in that little Pitts Special. Little over that in the Edge 540. Carbon fiber aircraft can take a lot of punishment. There's Mike Wiskus in the Pitts Special. High to the left. Now watch him as he'll bank that aircraft hard to the left. Dive to show center is Kirby Chambliss. And a little aileron roll on the way down on the 45 down line. Crosses show center there. There's a hard pull. 5 G's pushing him down in the seat as he goes up over the top Little snap roll there. Two shoulder, 3, 4 shoulder rolls, and then a tumble. Nose over tail. Now, let me see you do that in your airplane. No way, folks. This takes a lot of practice, a lot of skill, and a lot of courage, too. Mike Wiskus out there in the lead once again in the biplane. Kirby Chambliss, edge 540 right behind him. G-forces, you and I are generating 1 G as we stand here on the ground. And if we talk about a performer suffering 5, 6, or 7 Gs, what we're talking about is that performer is actually experiencing 7 times his own weight pushing him down in the cockpit. The Red Bull airplane of Mr. Kirby Chambliss as we go up over the top, and a series of rolls and another tumble. Nose over tail, tail over nose. Let me tell you what Kirby says. I don't know what we call that, but man, you are along for a ride when you do that. Hard circling out there, pulling a lot of G's now. Positive G's push you down in the seat. Negative G's try to throw you outside of the cockpit, but they've got a 5-point harness in there that's strapping them in firmly to the seat. They tighten that up very, very tight for both negative and positive G's, and they also have a parachute on. Up pull to the vertical goes Kirby Chambliss. Aileron rolls on the way up, going to run out of airspeed. What's he going to do when he quits flying? Here we go. Must be a hammerhead. Let's see if it's a hammerhead. No, he's going to roll it over on its back. This is freestyle flying at its finest. These guys love to just go out and rip it. Wiskus up around. Mike Wiskus, believe this or not, but it is true. He bought that airplane off eBay. It was pretty much of a scrap airplane, rebuilt it, highly modified for his performance, and now he flies that little airplane all over the country. Kirby Chambliss is part of the Red Bull Air Force. You'll see him. You'll see an aerobatic helicopter a little bit later on. You'll see the Red Bull parachute jumpers. All 3 of those members of the Red Bull team will be in the air at the same time doing different things. The Red Bull Air Force. Kirby, smoke on, smoke off. Just letting Mike Wiskus know where he is. Hard to see out there over the water. Incidentally, the smoke that you see coming out of these airplanes, it's a very lightweight machine oil. It's called Corvus oil. It's carried on board the airplane in a little tank that's got a pump on it. When the pilot wants smoke, he just flips the switch, and it pours or sprays that Corvus oil right into the hot exhaust of the airplane. That's what's caused the smoke. And it is biodegradable. It's EPA approved. It will not hurt you. Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport introducing their free 24/7 Helistop in downtown Fort Lauderdale. And that Helistop will accommodate 46-foot rotor diameter helicopters. And it's only just steps away from the Riverwalk, the Broward Center, museums, and check this out, over 170 restaurants. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, the F-16 Viper, the electric jet. We call it the electric jet because, as you will hear, it has no mechanical connections between the control stick and the control surfaces on the airplane. It's all fly-by-wire. It's done electronically. Combat Command has all of the aircraft displays for the United States Air Force, and they also participate in the Heritage Flight, which you will see following the demonstration of our Viper. I wish we had a very, very humid day, because if we had a very humid day, we could get what we call vapes off the airplane, and that's where you get vapor that we can really envelop the entire airplane if it's right. But the temperature and the humidity have to be just right for some vapes. But we'll see if we get some vapes today. I'm sure you've seen a lot of pictures of the cone of vapors surrounding the airplane. A lot of people believe that is the airplane going supersonic, and that is not the case. The vapor around that is simply that, vapor, caused by the high speed and temperature. All right, folks, if you are ready, stand up, stand tall, watch now as we bring you the F-16 Viper demo.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of your United States Air Force, the Commander of Air Combat Command, General Mark Kelly, and all the men and women of Air Combat Command, we'd like to thank you for having us at the Fort Lauderdale, Florida Airshow. I'm the Viper Demonstration Superintendent and one of your narrators, Master Sergeant Brandon Baden from Manassas, Virginia. Here with me at Show Center is my co-narrator, Technical Sergeant Ryan Hutchison from Concord, California, as well as our safety observer and combat-ready fighter pilot, Captain Amy Fiedler, call sign Rebel, from New Braunfels, Texas. As a member of Air Combat Command's 20th Fighter Wing, located at Shaw Air Force Base in the beautiful Sumter, South Carolina, it is our distinct pleasure to describe for you today a combat capability demonstration by the world's premier multi-role fighter, the F-16 Fighting Falcon, affectionately known as the Viper.
The commander and pilot for the Viper demonstration team is Major Garrett Schmitz, call sign Toro from Price, Utah. Major Schmitz is a veteran fighter pilot with more than 2,400 hours in military aircraft and 55 combat missions supporting Operation Inherent Resolve. The Block 50 Viper you'll see in today's demonstration is equipped with a General Electric F-129 afterburning turbofan jet engine. Ladies and gentlemen, stand up, make some noise for Major Schmitz and the F-16 Fighting Falcon.
Major Schmitz is now setting up for his first aerobatic maneuver, the half-Cuban 8. Watch as Toro traces half of a vertical figure 8 over the demonstration area.
Watch now as Major Schmitz repositions his aircraft and demonstrates the low-altitude, high-speed capability of the F-16. As he passes show center, he'll be traveling just under the speed of sound at 700 miles per hour. That's less than half Viper's top speed of Mach 2.
Moving like the speed of sound. He can keep on the ground. Can't stay in one place. Keep moving like a bullet.
As he returns to show center, Major Schmitz will accelerate rapidly and snap the F-16 through a series of aileron rolls, demonstrating his exceptional roll maneuverability.
Like a
Dropping in from the left, Toro, and the triple roll.
Trucks jacked up, flat bills flip back. Yeah, you can find us where the party's at. This is how we roll. We hanging around, singing down everything on the radio. We light it up with our hands up.
In a dogfight, the ability to turn tight is crucial. Watch now as Toro shows you just how exceptional the F-16 is in a 9G turn. At show center, he'll bank sharply and accelerate through a tight turn, pressing into the seat with the force of 9 times his normal weight, or 9 Gs.
I'm here to rumble. Get ready for thunder, 'cause I'm here to rumble. I'm here to rumble. I'm here to rumble. Ladies and gents, I won't pretend. Think up, I got my medicine. Think I'm a mess, but I'm making sense. I feel it in my skeleton. I know I'm intense, I got the suspense. I'm here to take down everyone. I'm here to take down everyone. I'm here to rumble. I've got danger in my
Major Smits will now demonstrate the F-16's crisp handling characteristics as he performs a 4-point roll at show center, pausing briefly at each 90-degree increment. Notice the precision at which these individual movements are executed. In from the left, the F-16 and the 4-point roll.
smiling from the stage while you were clapping in the nosebleed. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
And now, one more time from your right. Watch as Toro unleashes the sound of freedom. He'll flirt with the sound waves across the show center at 950 feet per second. Let's check in with him to see how fast he gets going.
Fort Lauderdale, here comes the speed. There's 400 knots. 450. 500. 550. 620.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, thunder, feel the thunder.
As he approaches show left, Major Smits will set up for a series of maneuvers, which will demonstrate the F-16's ability to turn tight and stay unpredictable, a trait which helps the Vipers survive against low-altitude threats. He will then quickly transition from horizontal flight into vertical. Ladies and gentlemen, from your left, it's the Falcon turn.
Can't stop me out. You know you can't even slow me down. You know I'll spread this wild around. So if you shoot, you better shoot me now. Shots fired on me. Shots fired on me. Can't stop me out. You can't stop me out. Shots fired on me. Shots fired on me. Can't stop me out. You can't stop me out. No, no.
Major Smits is now slowing the F-16 to prepare for a slow speed, high alpha pass. While the Viper can fly at more than twice the speed of sound, slow speed control is just as important to those who fly it. High alpha refers to the high angle of attack at which the aircraft will be flying. Toro will be holding the Viper at a 23-degree nose-up position and moving 120 miles per hour. When he reaches show center, Major Smits will apply full afterburner and accelerate his aircraft in a nearly vertical climb, demonstrating the F-16's awesome thrust-to-rate ratio and a maneuver we proudly call the rocket launch.
Hey everyone, this is Major Garrett Schmitz of the United States Air Force's F-16 Viper demonstration team. I just wanted to take this opportunity to say Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. God bless.
All this power, it's gonna bring you down to your knees. All this power,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, get those cameras ready as Major Schmitz prepares to demonstrate the combination of thrust and digital flight control systems that make the knife edge maneuver possible.
I feel this power. Judas may try to kiss, but no one could stop this. I feel this power. I feel this power. Whoa.
From your right, the F-16 and the knife edge pass.
Bright lights, big city, smell the cash. You know it's dirty. You never can get enough. Taking names, digging graves, pull the trigger, and walk away. It's just a
Now, watch as Toro sets up for a maximum performance climb with a series of aileron rolls. As he pulls back on the stick, you'll see the Viper's exceptional power and rolling ability as he sends it from 300 feet to over 3 miles.
I wanna elevate. Elevate. Watch me elevate. Watch me elevate. I know they say that the best is always yet to come, but nothing happens. I can't sit and wait until I'm numb. I get that feeling in my soul, then I cut and run, cause I can't take another second. Watch me elevate like hero. Yeah, I'm taking this vision.
Oh, Father, tell me, do we get what we
Ladies and gentlemen, Major Schmitz has begun a spiraling descent in preparation for the dedication pass. Major Schmitz and the rest of the F-16 Viper demonstration team from the 20th Fighter Wing wish to dedicate this pass to the men and women from all branches of the armed forces and their families who are so bravely fighting today's joint fight. We would also like to remember our wounded warriors and veterans in attendance and those who have given their lives defending this great nation. This will be your best photo opportunity, so get your cameras ready to capture this salute.
Thomas, we all fall, go down. Yeah, but for the fall, ooh, my heart, do you dare to look me right in the eyes? Yeah. Oh, God say we run you down, down to the door. Yeah, Sunday we run you down, down till you fall. And then we run you down, down till you go. Yeah.
Now, from behind the crowd and to the right, the F-16 Viper demonstration team proudly presents the dedication pass.
We go, way down we go.
The Viper you see in action today is maintained by our expert team of maintenance professionals. Crew Chief, Staff Sergeant Bobby Snapshot Harper, Staff Sergeant Kyle Mattern, Senior Airman Adam Carr, Staff Sergeant Ryan Davis, Staff Sergeant Trevor Griswold, Staff Sergeant Jared Henry. You can tag all your social media posts and photos with @ViperDemoTeam.
Oh, baby, oh, baby, way down we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of the 24th anniversary of the Heritage Flight, I would like to take a moment to describe the history of what you're about to watch. In 1997, the leaders of Air Combat Command assembled a select group of retired military and civilian pilots to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the United States Air Force. From this gathering was born the Heritage Flight, a unique visual representation of the Air Force history from the days of the Army Air Corps to the present.
What had started out as a one-time event has grown in popularity and demand. In 2010, the Air Force Heritage Flight Foundation joined with the United States Air Force to keep this popular program flying. And now Heritage Flights are performed at air shows and special events in the United States and around the world.
To those who've had to fly and fight, who have served their country in the sky, with a grateful heart and watchful eye, we remember, and may the faithful proud machines who bore the sword of freedom on their wings be given the honor such a burden brings, when we remember. Keep them flying, so that all who see them will know that their freedom was won by the blood that flowed. And
Flying in formation today is Mr. Stuart Milson in a World War II era P-51 and Major Garrett Schmitz and the United States Air Force F-16.
and all who've coursed through hostile skies know that freedom requires a sacrifice. To those who paid the highest price, we remember, with a place of honor so deserved. For what flesh and blood and steel have earned, may the greatest glory be reserved for the colors they so bravely serve. Keep them flying, so that all who see them will know that our freedom was won by the blood that flowed, and we remember.
We would like to dedicate today's Heritage Flight to all the military veterans and wounded warriors in attendance whose sacrifices over the years helped preserve America's freedom. We hope you've enjoyed watching this rare formation flight of classic and current Air Force aircraft. Please turn with me now and watch as this rare formation approaches from behind the crowd for its final pass to split break.
Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Air Force Heritage Flight. We hope you've enjoyed watching and taking pride in this rare display of more than 70 years of air power heritage.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, looks like Toro's going to give us another 4-point roll. This time he'll pause briefly in the inverted position to give the crowd a wave. All right, count them out with me. There's 1. There's 2. Everyone give him a big wave. There's 3 and 4.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Stuart Milson and that beautiful P-51 Mustang. This Mustang is graciously given to us right now by the Kavanaugh Flight Museum in Addison, Texas.
All right, looks like Toro's got a little extra gas to burn. You're going to get another high-speed pass. It's going to show us what 30,000 pounds of thrust does with a 27,000-pound aircraft.
There's a moment in your bones when the fire takes over.
All right, this is going to be his final pass.
Heart is pumping as the battle gets closer. They can say what they want now.
Major Schmitz will now be returning to Fort Lauderdale Airport. As he approaches the runway, he'll decelerate to about 150 miles per hour, enabling the F-16 to stop in less than 3,000 feet if necessary. Add its ability to take off from relatively short runways, and you have a fighter that can operate in thousands of airfields in virtually every country in the world. While today's demonstration has shown you how well the F-16 can maneuver in combat, what we cannot show you is its striking power or the accuracy and lethality of the weapons it carries. The Viper can hit targets well outside of its vision range while flying fast at the speed of sound. Coupled with your innovative, motivated, versatile, and adaptable airmen, your United States Air Force F-16 Fighting Falcon is applying new technologies and capabilities never before employed on a fighter.
On behalf of United States Air Force, the Commander of Air Combat Command, General Mark Kelly, and all the men and women of Air Combat Command, thank you for attendance, thank you for your patriotism and support. Thank you very much. Back to you, Larry.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, the F-16 Viper demo team and the United States Air Force Heritage. First Heritage flight was flown many, many years ago at the 50th anniversary of the United States Air Force at Nellis Air Force Base. Instead of just the two ships or the three ships, they had three two-ship formations. And it was my honor to narrate the very, very first Heritage flight for the public. All right, coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk to you about the United States Coast Guard, the Coasties. Now, the Coast Guard does not get an awful lot of publicity because most of their work is done offshore. And you can't drive a TV truck out there or a radio broadcaster. But it's a service that we really need to honor because they have been exemplary in what they do. They are, of course, on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're talking about the Coast Guard, not only for search and rescue, but for many, many other events where they may be called into action. So we're looking forward. I believe we've been told that we have two aircraft in the air. Yes, we got a Dauphine helicopter and a Global Sentry twin-engine aircraft. And I think we're going to see a full-fledged rescue here today. So we will see just a moment. And all of these aircraft are out of United States Coast Guard, Miami. Hey, we want to shout out to Mobile Mike Public Relations out there. Mobile Mike have been of great help to us here in establishing some situations whereby identifying the airbox and all of that. Public relations, community service, social media management, digital advertising, you name it, Mobile Mike has got it all. So if you are in need, check out Mobile Mike at heartradiopr.com. Once again, that's Mobile Mike at heartradiopr.com. Mobile Mike, Public Relations. Great gentleman, and we say thank you and a hats off and a hand salute to him. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from your left now, something that you very rarely see here from the Coasties, the United States Coast Guard, from Coast Guard Station Miami. In the lead, the HC-144 Global Sentry fixed-wing aircraft, and on his wing is the Dauphine helicopter. Nice formation flight by the team. That's the MH-65 Dauphine helicopter. They're going to be dropping some things into the water. They're going to do a search and rescue. They're going to rescue somebody, and you're going to get to see it all, how they do it. Now, like I said, they don't get a lot of publicity because the work they do is out over water, and we can't get a TV crew out there, but we can certainly have them do it right here in front of us, and I think you're going to be interested in what you see. The helicopter, let's start with it, is manned by a 4-person crew, 2 pilots, a flight mechanic, and a rescue swimmer. These 4 gentlemen or women work together quickly and safely in rescuing people who might be in peril. The crew today joining us from, like I said, Coast Guard Station, Miami. Several units down there of 2 search and rescue ready air crews. Like I said, on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. These crews stand rotating shifts, even sleeping on base, in order to be able to get helicopters airborne as quickly as possible in the event of a distress notifications. While the pilots fly the aircraft to the scene, the flight mechanic and the rescue swimmer are preparing the aft cabin of the helo. The rescue swimmer will put on his safety equipment, including a helmet and gloves, as well as fins, masks, and snorkel. The flight mech is ensuring that the hoist is working correctly and his equipment is laid out properly for the rescue. And executing a rescue mission requires each of the crew members to work together and rely on one another. Like I said, the fixed-wing aircraft is the HC-144, the Global Sentry aircraft. Twin-engine, turboprop, medium range, and it is made by CASA. It does have a top speed in order to get to rescue situations quickly of a little over 300 miles an hour, so it can move out. Wingspan of 85 feet, so it's a fairly large aircraft built in Spain by the CASA Corporation. There are only about 18 of these Global Sentries were built. Medium range. All right, let's see if we can execute something here. We're going to drop something out yet. You can see that big door loading platform on the back of the Global Sentry as the Dauphine helicopter flies in trail. You notice the tail rotor of the Dauphine. This is something unusual. Most tail rotors are free, but this is what they call an encapsulated or a ducted tail rotor, completely enclosed. Executing a rescue mission requires each of the crew members to work together and rely on one another. The precision teamwork requires hours and hours of training, as you can imagine, and a lot of standardization to make sure that they do it and do it right. That hard work and training pays dividends. In the event of national disasters, Hurricane Katrina, a good example. Standardization allows the air crew members trained in different parts of the country to work together. So you can get the New York-based Coast Guard to come down here to Miami and assist, but it's all standardization. Now we'll see if the MH-65 will deploy a simulated survivor in the ground. The aircraft commander of this particular HC-144 Global Sentry is Lieutenant Commander Dusty Lee, who is leading the final flight of his 24-year career. Dusty began the aviation career in 1999 as a Marine Corps F-18 pilot. And after transferring to the Coast Guard flew the Falcon jet here in Miami, as well as Cape Cod, and has transitioned to the HC-144 Global Sentry you see flying today. Dusty's co-pilot today is the commanding officer of Coast Guard Air Station Miami, Captain Sean Max Cook. Immediately after these planes lands at the base, Captain Cook will officiate in Lieutenant Commander Lee's retirement ceremony. So, up to the Global Sentry, thank you for your service, Commander Lee. Fair winds and following seas. Here is the HC-144 Global Sentry. Hey, here we go. There goes a raft. Maybe two, maybe three. Drops have been made out of the rear of the HC-144. And now you will see the helicopter come in to do some station keeping around those rafts. Our view is blocked here by the tents, but I'm assuming that those rafts are self-inflating. All right, HC-145, rather the Dauphine helicopter now searching for where those were dropped, searching for the area where they can recover a person or a boat in distress. You'll watch now how difficult it is in this wind to do what we call station keeping, but the pilots, very well trained, can hold that helicopter steady right over the top of that target without moving sideways or forward. Look at that, just absolute stationary. Of course, he's faced right into the wind. That helps hold him fairly steady. And if you look off his nose, further out there, you can see a giant C-17 Globemaster III, which will be in very shortly. All right, they have dropped a water pump, which could be used by a ship in distress that's taking on water. And they're going to go in and pick that up, the Dauphine helicopter. The Dauphine helicopter was selected by the Coast Guard back in 1969 as its short-range recovery air-sea rescue helicopter. That replaced the old Sikorsky H-52, the Sea Guard that you may remember. In total, 99 helicopters optimized for the Coast Guard search and rescue role task and given the designation of the HH-65A Dolphin were acquired. Incidentally, it is not able to make a water landing like the other helos could, but it is used for homeland security patrols, cargo, drug interdiction, ice breaking, even military readiness, pollution control, and of course the all-important search and sea rescue missions. And as I told you, it is known for that Fenestron tail rotor, and it also is equipped with full autopilot. Can be flown hands-off by either of the pilots. And if you didn't know this, here's an interesting fact. All airplanes, the captain of the aircraft sits in the left seat. That's not so in a helicopter. The captain or pilot in command, if you will, of the helicopter sits in the right seat. That's because his left hand is busy, which is what we call a collective. That is the device located between he and the co-pilot. Using his left hand, he can lift or lower that, and that controls the up and down of the helicopter, as well as the throttle is also on there. And then the right hand is used on the stick, the control stick, between his legs, just like a regular airplane, and then the rudder pedals are out there. So they sit in the right side of the cockpit to handle that all-important collective. The other stick between his legs is called a cyclic. Coast Guard operates 102 from these from the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, Gulf of Mexico, Hawaii, and the Great Lakes region. Global Sentry. Sorry, I'm unable to describe what's going on because our view is blocked by the tents here, but we can occasionally see the rotor blades of the helicopter as it lifts up now. Oh, there we go. We got a diver that has gotten into the water and he's being hoisted aboard. There's an arm that sticks out just above the door there on the right side of the helicopter. An arm sticks out, and that has a cable, a motor-driven cable on it, and that's how they can raise and lower things into the water. So that diver jumped into the water, recovered whatever they were dropping out there, and now that has been hoisted aboard the Dauphine helicopter. Now he'll put the nose down a little bit as he picks up some forward speed and exit the area. Beautiful helicopter. Very quiet, too. You can see that arm sticking out just above the door there that holds the motor, and that steel cable used for bringing people aboard or deploying off the helicopter. Hats off and a hand salute to the United States Coast Guard. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, they don't get nearly the publicity that they should because you just can't get the TV cameras out to sea. Just finishing up their duties here is the United States Coast Guard. And then we'll go in from a 2-engined airplane to a big 4-engine airplane that flies like a little fighter jet. And now I'll let Major Mac Delgado tell you all about the C-17 Globemaster III. What an airplane it is. It is remarkable. We'll be there shortly. As a matter of fact, if you look way off to the left, about a 45-degree cut out over the ocean, you can see that big C-17 orbiting out there. I think the Dauphine just dropped another swimmer in the water down there right in front of the other viewing area, so you folks could get an opportunity to see how it's done. Yeah, I can hear the fan blades rolling. They're hoisting him up now. Very good. My chief spotter, Steve Webster, on the beach, giving me the old hand signals. Not that one, Steve. But at least the folks down there on the other end of the box are getting an opportunity to see the Coast Guard in action as they lift that diver from the ocean back up into the helo, the Dauphine. I think our Global Sentry aircraft is departing the scene out over the tanker there as he heads back to Coast Guard Station Miami, and our helicopter lifting up. We appreciate the Coast Guard spending the time and the effort to come up and give you an example of what they do. There he goes. Vertical lift, pulls up on that collective, little forward on the cyclic to get that nose down, let that rotor start picking up airspeed for him. And there they go, the United States Coast Guard, Miami. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the C-17.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Major Mac Delgado, call sign Bull, and I am one of the pilots on your C-17 West Coast demo team. As a Florida native, it is my pleasure this afternoon to describe to you today's flight demonstration by America's newest airlifter, the Boeing C-17 Globemaster III, or as we affectionately call it, the Moose. A short time ago, the C-17 operated by the West Coast demo team performed a max effort takeoff. This maneuver enabled the giant aircraft to reach an altitude of 1,000 feet well before the departure end of the runway. Departure capabilities such as these allow the C-17 to operate out of hostile airfields that are not suitable for other large aircraft. The crew for today's demonstration is Lieutenant Colonel Judd Baker, Major Nick Colio, Major Nick Burke, and Tech Sergeant Ryan Anderson. The maintenance team supporting today's demonstration is Staff Sergeant Jason Walensky, Senior Airman Luke Arjabak, and Airman First Class Fernando Blada. The crew flies out of Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington State. This is a highly experienced aircrew with a combined total of over 12,000 flight hours with 2,000 flown in combat. They have 23 deployments in support of counterinsurgency and humanitarian operations in the Middle East and around the world. In addition to their combat deployments, the crew has also a combined total of 43 missions to Antarctica with 6 airdrops on the South Pole in support of the National Science Foundation's Arctic mission. While the crew is maneuvering for their first pass at Show Center, I'd like to share some facts with you about this aircraft. The C-17 made its first flight in September of 1991. Since then, the aircraft has set over 30 world records, including payload to altitude, time to climb, and longest airdrop mission in history. The new age design includes modern computerized glass cockpit, heads-up displays at both pilot stations, and an advanced cargo handling system, allowing it to operate with a crew of just half the size of a similar cargo aircraft. The crew will now perform a high-speed pass with the aircraft capable of accelerating to over 350 miles per hour. This pass demonstrates the extreme powerful engines of the magnificent jet. Ladies and gentlemen, the C-17 is now approaching from their left. Please notice how quiet it is while passing by show center. This gives the crew a tactical advantage while flying low over hostile territory and allows tactical operations at airfield near heavily populated cities. This reliable airlifter combines the intercontinental cargo carrying capabilities of a large aircraft such as a C-5 Galaxy with the short field landing potential of a much smaller C-130 Hercules. The C-17 is powered by 4 Pratt & Whitney F-117 engines. These are the same engines used on the Boeing 757. Each engine delivers over 40,000 pounds of thrust. This amount of thrust allows the Globemaster III to carry over 170,000 pounds of cargo for an astonishing range of 2,400 nautical miles without ever having to utilize its air refueling capability. Now, approaching from your right, the aircraft will perform a low-speed pass. During this pass, please notice the wing leading edge slats and large powered lift wing flaps. These devices literally change the shape of the wing and are key to its low final approach speed, enabling this aircraft to land and stop in incredibly short distances. Ladies and gentlemen, please get your cameras ready, as this will be your best opportunity to take photos of this amazing state-of-the-art machine. The C-17 will now maneuver for a circle in front of Airshow Center, showing its ability to fly at low airspeeds and demonstrate its advanced aerodynamics in action. The aircraft uses a quadruple redundant fly-by-wire system for the operation of flight controls. This is combined with 4 separate flight control computers, each capable of controlling the entire system independently. The system is designed to optimize the capabilities of the C-17, yet maintain enough redundancy to protect against a wide variety of failure conditions. Another feature of this amazing flight control system is that the aircraft can also be flown by an entirely mechanical backup mode, further safeguarding against abnormal situations. As the aircraft approaches from your left, please notice the upturned wing tips or winglets. The winglets decrease aerodynamic drag and increase fuel economy. Now, to give you a better idea of the aircraft's overall size, those winglets are nearly 9 feet tall. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you're wondering how big the C-17 is, the wingspan is roughly 170 feet. The tail stands over 5 stories tall, and fully loaded, it weighs over 580,000 pounds, which is almost 100 full-grown elephants.
As you can see, the C-17 is extremely maneuverable at both high and low speeds, making it an ideal airlifter to operate in any tactical situation. The crew will now be planning to execute a quick climb to 1,500 feet on completion of the 360 to exit the show area. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you have enjoyed today's performance. Please like and follow the team on Facebook and Instagram, and be sure to tag us in any pictures or posts at C-17 West Coast Demo Team. We would also like to give a very special shout out to all the mothers in attendance and watching online. Happy Mother's Day, and thank you all for so much that you do, specifically to my mom, Connie, who is in attendance today. On behalf of the men and women of the United States Air Force, Air Mobility Command, Joint Base Lewis McChord, and the West Coast Demo Team, we thank you for being with us here today. We hope you enjoyed this brief look at the C-17 Globemaster III, the Air Force's core airlifter and workhorse, which will continue to provide rapid mobility for America today, tomorrow, and well into the 21st century. This maneuver concludes the C-17 demonstration, and we hope you have a great rest of the day. Go Air Force, and back to you, Larry.
Thank you, Mac. Very, very nice job. Couple of interesting facts about the C-17 that perhaps you don't know about is you see that big tall tail on the airplane? There is actually a ladder inside of that tail that you can climb up all the way to the top, and then there's a couple of doors up there that you can open up and crawl out and examine the horizontal stabilizer on that airplane. It's a very, very interesting climb. Okay, they're going back to base right now. We're going to take about a 2.5 minute break, and then we're going to come back with an interview. So, Jeff, you have it, my friend.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Okay, Jeff down there handling a few little moments here. Ladies and gentlemen, up on the stage right here is Captain Amy Fiedler. And she is, you heard during the F-16 Viper demo, the safety officer. Now, she's not only the safety officer down here, but she's also a combat-ready fighter pilot, correct? Flying the F-16 Viper.
That is correct. I fly the F-16.
When did you decide that you'd like to go into the military service?
I decided to join the military about 3 years after I graduated from college. I was working at the Naval Academy with some of the midshipmen doing their flight training program, and then I decided that I wanted to join the Air Force.
So you were working at the Naval Academy, and you decided to join the Air Force.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. All right. What does the safety officer do? I know you're an integral and very, very important part of this team.
So my job is to fly with Toro. I fly the backup jet to the air shows that he attends. And then I sit on the ground at Stage Center with the announcers, and I talk to Major Smith while he's flying to make sure that he has the correct parameters to execute the maneuvers for the show.
Yep. Now, an example might be, okay, you're at the top of a loop and Toro asks, or do you say like 160 knots and you should be at 160?
Yep. So when he does an over-the-top maneuver, he'll call me and let me know what his parameters are. He'll tell me how many G's he's pulled, and then the airspeed and altitude that he has. And as long as it meets the standards, then I will tell him that he's able to do that maneuver. Yep.
Good to go. Okay, where'd you get your flight training?
I went through flight training in Columbus, Mississippi.
And in the T6 or?
Yep. So I started in the T6. That takes about 6 months. And then I tracked to the fighter bomber in the T-38. That takes another 6 months. And then after that, I dropped the F-16 and I had to go through Introduction to Fighter Fundamentals. All of that training happened at Columbus Air Force Base in Mississippi.
Yeah. And then right on to the base?
After that, I went to Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. That's where I completed the B course. It's about a 9-month training program where you learn to fly the F-16 before they let you join the CAF, which is the Combat Air Force.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you very much, Amy. I won't ask you how you got Rebel. I know how, so I won't embarrass you. Rebel is their call sign. Ladies and gentlemen, Amy Fiedler from the United States Air Force F-16 Viper team. Thank you, dear. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. You folks watching Air.show, go to Air.show/live stream so you can sign up for nothing. You can sign up for free at Air.show/live stream. And Jeff, if you're listening, could we get a shot for the folks out there watching live? Could we get a shot down where the Blue Angels are currently parked? I'd like to get a shot if we can down there. Okay, we've got that up on TV. Got a live shot down there, ladies and gentlemen, of the United States Navy, and those are the new Super Hornets. Yep, they got a brand new this year, the Super Hornets. They've been flying the other jets for about 30-some years, graduated up now to the Super Hornet, and it is loud, it is fast, and it is furious. And you will see the United States Navy Blue Angels at 2 o'clock this afternoon. We are in an intermission session right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen. So if you would like to use the facilities, grab something to eat, why, feel free to do so, because we are adjusting our times according to the air traffic control that allows us to use all of this area. And then coming up later, ladies and gentlemen, right after this, will be the Red Bull Air Force. You won't want to miss that. We're talking about a real Air Force. Kirby Chambliss in the Edge 540. We're talking about the Red Bull skydivers. And man, wait till you see what they can do with those very, very small parachutes, shooting across the ground at 70 miles an hour. And we have none other than Aaron Fitzgerald in the Bocal 105 aerobatic helicopter. Yep. Now, you've never seen, or perhaps you have seen one before, but if not, the Bocal 105 is the only helicopter that is allowed an FAA-approved aerobatic. So you're going to see him put that Bocal 105 through a lot of paces. I mean, upside down, snap rolls, loops, Wait till you see it. And the skydivers will be in there with all of us. And then Kirby is going to finish it up flying his Edge 540. 5-time national aerobatic champion. You could tell by the way that he flies. So we're going to take a small break here ourselves, grab ourselves a Gatorade, and we'll be back shortly to start with the Red Bull Air Force, followed by the Geico Skytypers, flying 6